Hello, everyone. Welcome to our chapter's 135th class. That's for the Tampa Bay IIBA chapter. My name is Esther. I would be the facilitator for tonight. I presently serve as the Vice President of Technology of this beautiful chapter, and the co-chair. We have a website committee, we have an editorial committee. You could actually contact me through LinkedIn if there are ways you want to volunteer on the website committee, if there are ways you want to volunteer on the editorial committee, you could actually contact me. I also have an IIBA email. So send an email to the Vice President of Technology at TampaBayIIBA.org. As a chapter, we've had people take the IIBA certifications. It's been amazing. We've had good feedback, people that have mentioned that through our help or through the chapter, through our study group activities, through the resources we post on our channels, these resources have been instrumental to them passing their CBAP or the IIBA examinations and certifications. A couple of them have served on our board for a while. And a couple of them have also gone on to be board members or key leaders in other IIBA chapters. So if we have been instrumental to your CBAP certifications, your ECBA certifications, whatever IIBA certifications you have taken, reach out to us. We will celebrate you. We're glad to hear about your successes. Also, the IIBA Tampa Bay chapter is headed by our president, Thea Soren. We also have an amazing team, amazing number of directors, of vice presidents, directors, and everybody doing an amazing job. Our vice president of finance, Richard Lehman, is also doing an amazing job. He just took up this position, and we are excited for the great and wonderful things he's going to be doing in our chapter. We also have board member positions available. So if you're here, you're willing to be a member of the board, you are willing to step up, you want to help, you want to volunteer, you want to be a part of the great things that our chapter is doing, please reach out to us, and we would have a conversation and we'll take it up from there. We look forward to more people joining our board. Now, we know that there are people that do not have an IIBA chapter. Our chapter is presently made up of individuals from different countries of the world. We have people from Africa, we have people from Asia, we have people from different countries of the world. So if you do not have an IIBA chapter, you do not need to be in Tampa Bay. Our chapter, Tampa Bay, is your chapter. You do not need to reside in Tampa Bay. I reside in the state of Oregon. So the Tampa Bay chapter is here for you. If you know any other person that's willing to have an IIBA chapter, you could refer them to us. Also, for those that reside in Tampa Bay, Florida, we are having chapter branches. We also want to promote in-person gathering. We've had more of our conversations online. We want to ensure that we want to meet in person. So if you know that you want to be a director of a chapter branch, do contact us. We want to encourage physical meetings as much as we have the online meetings. It's also very wonderful and amazing to have people gather together. So if you want to be a director, reach out to us. And we also have an amazing position headed by our Director of Emerging Professionals. Now, this is a position that works on that has a focus to graduate individuals or students in colleges, individuals in higher education institutions that are interested in a professional organization or even perhaps having the professional certification. So these are individuals in colleges. We have somebody that heads that. That's our Director of Emerging Professionals, Kennedy Davis. If there are different opportunities with maybe colleges that you know, with universities that you know that want to have an IIBA affiliation that need anything relating to business analysis, you could reach out to our Director of Emerging Professionals. She's an amazing personality. I'm sure she would listen to you. As a chapter, we do not exist in isolation. That's one major thing we have to note. As a chapter, we partner with the Tampa Women in Agile, Tampa WIA. We also partner with the Tampa Bay Product Group. We're also partners with the IIBA Ireland chapter. Our president actually leads the IIBA Ireland chapter study groups. We are also partners with the IIBA Philippines chapter, which he also leads their study groups, and also the Bluegrass IIBA chapter. We've had a couple of individuals from the IIBA Bluegrass chapter also join our meetings. We had a couple of them last week when we had the Business Analysis Center of Excellence session. Now, our study group. Now, as a chapter, we have quite a number of resources, but notable amongst is our study group that happens every Thursday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, which is exactly what we're having right now. And Pacific time, it's 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Now, as a chapter, we also have our LinkedIn page, we have our Facebook page. But apart from that, we also have an incredible index owned by Bob. This is the website rpchurchill.com. So this is our chapter index where you get the recordings. We also have our meeting recordings that are uploaded on our YouTube channel, but we also have these recordings and every other necessary resource uploaded on the website, on Bob's website. So having all these resources makes us unique, makes us stand out as a chapter. If you need help, if you need access to resources that will be instrumental to your success as a business analyst, do check out this index or do reach out to us. We're willing to listen to you. Like I mentioned, as a chapter, we have amazing persons. We have amazing personalities that have also become our study group advisors. Our main study group advisor is Bob Churchill. He is CBAP certified, has a number of certifications. He's an amazing and highly intelligent resource, one that we're glad to have in our chapter. And I also serve as a study group advisor. So need help with your CBAP certifications, your IIBA certifications, reach out to us. We also partner with a couple of study resources or study centers, study organizations, notable amongst which is the Watermark. Now, if you're a member of our chapter and you decide to register for the Watermark Learning, you have a 40% discount on your registration using the Tampa 21. So if the Watermark Learning is the resource you want to use to prepare for your examinations, use that discount code as a member of the Tampa Bay IIBA chapter and you get 40% off. We also have a discount code for Adaptive US. It's also one of the notable study organizations for the IIBA certifications. If you want to register through or with the Adaptive or with Adaptive, you have a 20% discount. So using the discount code ITBF20. So Adaptive offers live classes and also on-demand courses. But this excludes the IIBA exam vouchers. Now, as a chapter, we are highly instrumental with people writing the IIBA certifications, but what are these certifications? What exams are people writing? So we have the ECBA certifications, we have the CCBA certifications, and we have the CBAP certifications. As a chapter, we focus more on these three certifications and ensuring that we have people that take these exams that come out in flying colors. But we also know that the IIBA has specific certifications based on specific fields. We have the Agile Analysis certification, we have the CBDA certifications, we have the CCA and the CPOA. Now we're going to talk more on these certifications today, as that would basically be the focus of our study group tonight. Now, the IIBA has a 15% discount available for members that are willing to take the IIBA certifications that are not from the BABOK. So the specialized certifications, that's the ones I mentioned earlier, the AAC, the CBDA, the CCA, and the CPOA. Now, if one registers now, you get 15% off. And this offer ends on the 30th of September. So if you want to register for any of these examinations, go ahead, do your registration. You're getting a 30% off. As a chapter, we tried as much as possible to also schedule our events, schedule speaking engagements. So on the 19th of September, which is going to be next Thursday, we are having a facilitation technique session. But before we have that session, we're going to have a raffle that's going to hold, a raffle that is going to be handled by Felicia Joyner. Now, she's just having a raffle in advance of her speaking to us on the 31st of October. So we have her slated for the 31st of October, but she's going to be speaking to us on the 19th, or not speaking to us. We're going to be having a raffle at the beginning. But on the 19th, basically, we're going to be having a session, a facilitation technique, and our guest is Douglas Ferguson. He's an amazing business analyst. He's an entrepreneur. He's a human-centered technologist. He's actually a thought leader and also an author of different books. And these are useful resources in our field of business analysis, especially for those that are in technology. These are resources that are usually very helpful. So we'll be having him speak with us or speak to us next week. He's going to take us through different facilitation techniques. There are a ton of certifications of facilitation techniques. So he's going to take us through the liberating structures, each of these, and we're going to see how important it is. We're going to see how we can apply it. We're going to see the usefulness of these techniques. So come next week. You could come with someone. It's going to be an interesting session. And on the 26th of September, we are going to be having another amazing speaker, Rachel Winterdick. She's a CBAP certified individual. She would be taking us on the topic Slice and Dice, Mastering the Art of Splitting User Stories. So she is actually a very active member of both the IIBA and the PMI chapter. So we'll be having her on the 26th of September, taking us through an interesting session. So yeah, we've talked about the IIBA certifications beyond the BABOK. Now, we are basically focusing today on these 4 certifications that are beyond the BABOK. And at this point, we're going to make this as interactive as possible, where it's open to feedback, it's open to our comments, it's open to our reviews, it's open to our questions as well. So what we're basically focusing on is the 4 industry-specific, skill set-specific certifications. Now, the certifications are the Agile Analysis Certification. We have the CBDA, the Certification in Business Data Analytics, the Certificate in Cybersecurity Analysis, and the CPOA, that's the Certificate in Product Ownership Analysis. Now, why are we speaking about this? Now, this is also to bring awareness to these certifications that the IIBA has, and also have this in mind that if we have individuals interested in pursuing these certifications, there is a 15% discount, like I mentioned earlier, and this ends on the 30th of September. So if you want to write any of these certifications, if you register right now, you're going to save 15% on this selected certification exams. Now, the IIBA, we're talking about the certifications offered by the IIBA, but we all know what the IIBA is. But for those that do not know, the IIBA basically is the International Institute of Business Analysis, and it is a professional association. We have over 42,000 members, 120 chapters, 1,500 volunteers, and 500 partners worldwide. So the IIBA supports the recognition of business analysis within organizations. That's why we have different chapters. We have so many people that are interested in the field of business analysis, coming up with something innovative, coming up with something unique, coming up with something that's helpful to every business analyst in the field. So the IIBA is a very interesting organization. If you're not a member, you could sign up to be a member, and you could also have our chapter as your preferred chapter. The IIBA certifications. Now, this is going to be a link that's going to take me to the IIBA website. Now, these certifications, many people might ask, why do I need to become certified? I've been doing my job for a long time. Why exactly do I need to become certified? Are these certifications even recognized? Now, we try to do a random search in the course of the week on the 4 certifications. Some of them are not recognized. Like, when I mean not recognized, it's not something that some organizations are asking about right now. But we also know that we work in dynamic business environments, that the economy, the environment continues to develop. So how are we positioning ourselves as individuals, as professionals, to be able to meet with the rising need, the rising challenge, the rising development in the industry, in our industry? Certifications actually help us as professionals. So based on the IIBA, why do individuals become certified? We say confidence. Know exactly why you can deliver and how you can deliver value on the job. So there was a survey that was conducted. We had 23% people report higher confidence at work, thus making certification critical to career development. Some other individuals also said having certifications give them job satisfaction. Now, 11% reported greater fulfillment at work, which comes from knowing that they are essential to maintaining a focus on business value. Now, apart from doing your day-to-day job, having a certification actually keeps your brain active. Yes, doing your day-to-day job keeps your brain active, but having something you read, having something that's instrumental to your field, having something that's unique to your field, having something that speaks to your expertise, that speaks to your unique contribution in your field actually goes a long way. That's where a certification comes up. And we've had individuals that say, having a CBAP certification led to salary increment. Having this certification led to me having an improved or increased salary. So people become certified for salary increments if they need job satisfaction and job confidence. Now, why do organizations want certified staffs? They want to standardize their skills. An organization wants to know that we have a stable resource of professionals that have these skills, that are certified in this. Definitely anybody that's certified in, say, the CBAP examinations, for example, you're seen as a leading business analyst in the industry. You're seen as somebody that has gone through the BABOK, that understands the BABOK, and can actually apply the BABOK. Even like having all these resources actually help. So an organization will want to standardize the skills. It's also a way to demonstrate competence. So having been CBAP certified, being ECBA certified, it demonstrates your competence as an employee. So we have some projects or we have some engagements that you might be working on, and maybe a client says, oh, I only want CBAP certified consultants on my project team. In that situation, it gives you an edge. Oh, I only want somebody that has a CCBA, a minimum of a CCBA. You have that. So that actually demonstrates your competence as well. It also sets clear career paths and level requirements. Now, level requirements and setting a career path is actually very important. Say for the main business analysis certifications, if you have somebody that, oh, I have my ECBA today, and next year I want to have my CCBA, next year I want to have my CBAP. It helps you to set clear career paths, set clear career goals and level requirements, and helps you basically as an individual to achieve better results. Now, the core certifications are the things we talked about, and the specialized certifications. Now, the CBDA is more in the business data analytics field. And what this certification basically entails is recognizing our abilities as individuals to execute data analysis related tasks in the support of business analytics initiatives. Now, this certification is aimed to letting people know that you are able to perform data analysis, but you're able to perform business analysis or business analysis on analytics initiatives, because there's a difference between when you talk about business analysis and there's a difference when you talk about business analytics. So how you can effectively perform the analysis on analytics initiatives. So we also have the CCA certification that's in cybersecurity. And the IIBA actually partner with the IEEE, that's the IEEE Computer Society, to offer a robust learning program on cybersecurity analysis that allows the participants, every individual, to learn key cybersecurity concepts and tools. Then we also have the AAC certification, which is the Agile Analysis Certification. And it is designed for professionals who currently work in agile environments and have the knowledge of agile practices. Then we have the CPOA. So those that are in product management, product ownership, this certification is for you. It recognizes your ability as a product owner to integrate business analysis and product ownership with the goal of maximizing value. So it basically also provides business analysts the opportunity to acquire the essential concepts needed to create successful products, from product initiation development, even to the very end of the product lifecycle. The CPOA certification is actually very instrumental with that regard, or to that regard. Okay. Now, the certifications, one thing we should know is that if one wants to take any of these specialized certifications, one actually needs a minimum of 2 years experience. So the requirements before you can register for these certifications, at least you need to have 2 years experience. And the certifications have specific guides to them. So the same way we have the BABOK for those writing the ECBA, the CCBA, and the CBAP, the CBDA exam has its own guide. It's called the Guide to Business Data Analytics. So the Introduction to Business Data Analytics, a Practitioner's View, the Introduction to Business Data Analytics, and an Organizational View. And for those that are already certified in the CBDA, to get recertification, their recertification happens every year, and that happens with 20 CDUs. Now, the CBDA exam is a 2-hour exam, and it has 75 scenario-based multiple choice questions. So for those interested in going for the CBDA, those are the things you're going to meet, you're going to face, so just prepare your mind. We also have the AAC certification, which also has a minimum of 2 years experience in agile analysis practices at the delivery horizon. And the guide that works for the AAC certification is the Agile extension to the BABOK guide. As well, recertification is every year, and you do that with 20 CDUs. The AAC is a 2-hour exam and has 85 scenario-based multiple choice questions. Also, shortly, once, like in a few minutes, I'm also going to be having somebody that's AAC certified, by the way. She's going to be speaking to us about this certification. I'm sure it was an interesting journey for her. We're going to be having also, or we have the CCA certification as well. That's for those in the cybersecurity space. You also need a minimum of 2 years experience in analysis related work in cybersecurity. There is also the guide for that, but recertification is not required for the CCA exam. Now, the CCA exam is a 1 hour, 30-minute exam. It has 75 knowledge-based multiple choice questions. And the CPOA also does not have any recertification requirements. It has the guide to product ownership analysis as its guide, and also requires a minimum of 2 years experience in analysis related work in product ownership analysis. The CPOA is also a 1 hour, 30-minute exam, but it has 60 knowledge-based multiple choice questions. So if you want to take these exams, that's the info you need. So then we go to what the fees are. So the truth about all these certifications, just like the IIBA general certifications, they are offered as online, remote proctored exams, and requires our desktop, laptop, internet connection, everything that basically helps to make you write your exam at home. So we have that. Then the fees, as an IIBA member, you can get certified. So you can actually write this specialized examinations without being an IIBA member. But as an IIBA member, you can get certified for up to 40% less than non-members. So as an IIBA member, you're getting the 40% less, and also there's also the 15%. So I would go back to my presentation. Okay. So some of all these certifications, as of yesterday, it was and this data was provided by Ellen Mishra of Adaptive US. Right now, the IIBA has 2,334 AAC certified professionals. It has 669 CBDA professionals. It has CCA, 413 CCA professionals, and 964 CPOA certified professionals. Well, do you want to be part of the number and increase the metrics? Well, I think we can take the certifications. Now, as a chapter, and not necessarily as a chapter, anybody, the IBA Global, for individuals that take these examinations, even to the CBAP, even to the ECBA, we have something called the IBA directory. Now, everybody's in this directory that has taken a certification, and this is a sample of what the directory looks like. So this individual, for example, is CPOA certified, is CBAP certified as an IIBA member. The second person is CBAP certified, has the CPOA, and has the CCA. So we have that directory. So if people actually want to confirm if you have this certification, the IIBA has this global directory that is extremely important and serves as validity check, serves as fact check for your certification. So anybody questioning whatever certification you have, they just need to come to the IIBA directory. And the directory is the directory.iiba.org. So now we have the AAC certification. I talked about the guide. I have somebody here tonight. Her name is Deborah Dempsey. She is AAC certified. She's going to be speaking to us. So for those that are AAC enthusiasts, you think you want to take the AAC examination, I think this is the point where you listen to Deb. So Deb, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for speaking to us. So you have the floor.
Thank you. And as she said, I'm Deb Dempsey, and I just literally within the last 30 days, on the 21st will actually be 30 days ago that I got my AAC certification. And if you think that this is simple, it is not. I spent 9 hours a day preparing to take this test, got a lot of coaching from a lot of good people that are also listed here. If you guys know Thea, she was instrumental in connecting me with people that could give me insight into what it was going to be when I actually started to take the exam, because it was pretty overwhelming. I got a job and the recruiter said, you need to have a BA certification. I'm like, and where does that come from? And he says the IIBA, which made me join the IIBA, sign up for the certification. And by doing that, it gave you some of the study materials that you were going to need. But the thing I would tell you is take really good notes. I've shared my notes with Thea and with Cliff for them to go ahead and look through and see if they wanted to share them with you. It is not easy, not by any stretch. Even if you've been a BA, I've been a BA probably since before 1998. But the Agile certification is different, because if you've always worked in waterfall and now all of a sudden you're being thrown into Agile, you're getting to learn about all kinds of things that you never heard of. Horizons. They have 3 different horizons I had never even heard of before. They have a strategy horizon. They got an initiative horizon and a delivery horizon. And I would say the bulk of my career has been on the delivery side, because I've always worked in information technology. So the thing that I would tell you is really check out what certification you feel is going to do you the most good. And definitely reach out to the IIBA chapter presidents, because they're going to give you great insight into which certifications are going to be easier to obtain, which ones are going to be more useful because they have the pulse of the working environments to know what's being asked for, because I'm sure they get people that reach out to them and say, hey, we need somebody that's got this. So I would say the biggest thing is prepare yourself mentally for the fact that you are going to have to study hard for this. And I think one thing that really blew me away, and I was kind of shocked, my son is a CPA, and I know that he told me when he had to take multiple exams and he had to go on site, and he said they even had him pull up their pant legs to make sure there was nothing on their pants. They couldn't have any jewelry on. They had to leave their cell phones out in the car. I think the only thing he could take in with him was his driver's license. Well, you wouldn't think it, taking it at home, it would be that way, but I can't tell you how many views of the floor of my office and underside of my desk I had to give, and how many things they made me move away from my desk. And if you looked away from your keyboard, your hands had to be on your keyboard at all times. If you looked away from your keyboard, they would have ended the test right then and reported you back to the IIBA. So it's not a joke. I mean, and when they gave you the 2 hours to take the exam, but I can tell you that James Dean told me, he said, or that wasn't James, actually, let me find out who really told me this. I think it was Andrew that told me that you really have to think about this from the perspective of how they're teaching it to you. Even though you've done it at work and you call things by different names, that is not necessarily how it will show up on the test. And I think one of the best things that Aaron Wittenberger told me, he's the Bluegrass chapter president. He said, if you choose an answer, do not change it. He said, the other thing is, if you're watching your time, because there's a clock that's running, he said, if you're watching your time and you start to get close on your time, he said, make sure you have answered every question on that exam. Because if you don't answer it, it's definitely wrong. But if you guess it, you have a 50% chance of actually getting it right. Believe me, I followed that, and I can tell you 100%, when I clicked that final button and hit submit, I was just waiting for it to tell me you didn't pass. And when it came back and said you're AAC certified, I almost fell out of my chair. I could not believe it. And the rules that go with taking this test, like you can't have your phone and like take a picture that you passed. That will automatically negate your taking the test. And like you have to exit, just hit the X and get out of it. And it didn't take long to get the information, even though Andrew thought it might take a couple of hours for me to get it. I had my certificate within a matter of moments, really, of finishing the exam. So I think that the biggest thing that you can do for yourself, if you can find it, when you think, this is what my son told me, because he's done these tests so many times. He said, Mom, go out and find an exam for the AAC that has the same number of questions. And when you can pass 3 different exams and you're passing them at what the percentage is, then go ahead and take the exam. Then I'd say you're ready for it. Does anybody have any questions that I know that was a lot of information. And like I said, I've shared a lot with Cliff and with Thea as well for them to determine if they want to put it up on the IIBA site. But just know there's a lot of people out there that are willing to help you. James Dean, the IIBA president out of Dublin, Ireland, Aaron Wittenberg out of the Bluegrass chapter, not to mention Thea. If she wouldn't have put me in touch with Aaron and with James, I don't know that I'd have had the confidence to take the test, because I was under the gun. I couldn't start work until I got this certification.
Wow. Was super helpful. Thank you so much. Do we have any persons that are interested in taking the AAC certifications? If you could have a raise of hand. We could also connect with Deb on LinkedIn. I was trying to check her LinkedIn profile. So you just search her out on LinkedIn. Deb, would you be open if we had
You want me to
participants
drop
with
it?
questions? Yes,
Yeah,
please. You could also put
you want
your
me to drop
profile.
my LinkedIn profile in for you
Yes,
guys?
please.
Okay. Well, you'd think I'd know right where I am, but you know.
So let's all connect with Deb. I'm sure that would be really helpful. Thank you very much, Deb. This
Of
was really
course.
helpful. Thank you. All right.
And reach out if you guys have questions. I mean, I know it's not easy.
I agree. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Um, then another certification that we have is the CBDA. We have somebody actually certified, CBDA certified amongst us. That's our study group advisor, our chapter advisor. That's Bob. Bob, do you want to say something about the CBDA examination?
Sure. I'm a freak, so I would not advise anybody to do it the way I did. I actually read the 160-page PDF you can download for free on the IIBA site. Signed up for the exam at 8 o'clock in the morning, read the PDF, took the exam the next evening, starting at 8 o'clock, and passed it on the first try. Mostly I relied on what I know about business analysis, my extensive experience, and just thinking about the questions. Now, I have a model of the way I do business analysis in the way they teach you the CBDA is basically a 5-step model as opposed to my um CBAP or equivalent 6 um, phase model. The biggest struggle I had is that PDF mentions, I believe, 16 types of graphs. And I struggled with every single one of those questions. And if I had prepared knowing what those kinds of graphs are and what they did, I'd have done a lot better. I passed, but it was a real struggle. Um, I actually did a search in the PDF after the fact and identified the 16 different types of graphs. I can actually write up a brief blog post to show what they are, and then people can go and research what they are. I don't know how to tell you to study beyond having a really good handle on the way the IIBA thinks about doing things. Like I said, their 5-step model or their 5 knowledge area model is not too different than the CBAP model. It basically says figure out what's going on, figure out what the problem is, what's going on, gather the data, assess it, process it, something like that. I don't remember. But read and ask questions and maybe take practice exams that you can find. I know Adaptive does various kinds of training for it, and that's all I can say. I can say that most people, if they do what I did, do it in less than 48 hours, probably aren't going to do it
Yeah.
well. But I've done it forever, so that's
Yeah.
it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bob. Someone is also even asking, will you recommend taking the ECBA at least before taking any of these special examinations? Is there someone that wants to answer that question? Deb? Is Deb still here? I don't think so. Okay. So, one thing I personally would recommend is that, and that's one benefit of the IIBA. So even taking the ECBA exam, it doesn't mean that oh, it has to be levels, or say the ECBA is level 1, the CCBA is level 2, the CBAP is level 3. Now, I personally did not take the ECBA. I personally did not take the CCBA. I took the CBAP. But I've had people, now Deb that spoke to us actually is just AAC certified. She's not CBAP certified. She's not CCBA certified. She's not ECBA certified. So you could actually take the specialized certifications regardless of if you want to take any of the specific certifications. So there is no, oh, when you do this, before you do this, you have to do this. It's not stated in the requirements. The only requirements or the major requirements is the minimum of 2 years work experience in a field. And this is also because we know that there are people that are professionals that are in these fields that actually want to be specialized in that field. So you don't need to have the ECBA, to have the CCBA, or even have the CBAP. Kosi, was that explanatory enough?
Yep, it was good. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so this is how the guide to the business data analytics looks. Looks beautiful, but I know it's going to contain a lot of context that might not be beautiful. So then we have the CPOA certification as well. It's also a very instrumental certification. Okay, and we have the CCA certification. Now, all these certifications, if one wants to register, it presently costs $400. But we also remember that we have 15% discount. So let's also have that in mind. Now, paying the $400 allows every individual that has paid to the eligibility to schedule your exam. So you have that opportunity to schedule your exam, and actually making that payment grants you 12 months from the day IIBA receives the payment to request a refund. So if you make a payment today and you're like, oh, I cannot take the exam for the next 12 months, or I cannot take the exam again, or next month, you can actually request a refund. You are unable to request a refund 1 year after you made your payment. Now, it's non-refundable and any payments will be forfeited. So the specialized certifications cost $400. Now, our president actually attempted to do a search of all these certifications online to see how recognized it was. But the truth is, the AAC means a totally different thing. So these certifications are coming up. We're having people that are more certified in it, and we also know that the industry space is actually changing. So how best for us to prepare ourselves to be dynamic professionals? As business analysts, our core strength is in our flexibility. Our core strength is in how dynamic we are to relate and be flexible to whatever changes that happens in our industry. So we could be certified, giving us that dynamic touch as professionals. Yep, the CPO certification as well. So, do you want to have a certification that few others have? Do you want to have a certification companies are just now hearing about? Will these certifications benefit you? Those are the questions that we are asking. But before we proceed, I want to be sure, is there anybody that has any questions on these certifications? Does anybody have any question? All right. So, in the absence of questions, we are going to call it a night. I think we finished 15 minutes before our normal closing time. thank you so much, everyone, for joining tonight. We see us again next week where we have an amazing speaker. So let's come ready, let's come prepared to learn more. So thank you so much, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.